of the stream. The stream needs us to be very loud, so we have to speak into the microphone as I'm doing right now. Okay, working. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Again, thank you for your visit and thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming. My name is Herecké. I am a colleague of these four ladies as a director of this performance. The lady number one is Carolina Heffer. It's her. She wrote this piece, the text for the performance. The lady number two is Benita Martins, the actress from Vienna, our colleague from Austria. The lady number three is Sabina Šlachtová, our colleague from Czech Republic. Hello, Sabina. And the lady number four is Maria Tatarinova, the actress from Ukraine, living now in Prague. Our colleague from Prague, in Prague, BRNO, and somewhere else. Welcome. Maybe the first thing I would like to say, I would like to offer is your questions. Maybe the thing number one is if you have immediately now any questions for our four ladies.
And the director.
And the director. Okay, then I would start the discussion with the point number one, and that's the question how the play came to the world. How is it possible that we did this project and the genealogy of the whole process from the basic idea into the dramatic text? Maybe that's a question for you, Caroline. Could you please send us something about the genealogy of the whole piece?
So it all started with the Jura Säufer Society, who asked, I think you asked me if I want to do, you introduced me to Professor Dr. Herbert Alt, based in Vienna. He is like head of the Säufer Society. And they said if we want to do a Säufer play. And we read all the material, and there's really a very nice archive about those letters. And of course, there are like 3 pieces he wrote. And then we decided maybe to have a whole piece that have been done before is not as interesting as to talk about this life, because I was like, he was misunderstood for a painter, then he was in prison, then he tried to go to the mountains, to the high mountains and escape from the Nazis on skis. This is also very theatrical, it's very dramatic, and how he wrote those letters to his beloved woman to say, okay, now you really have to leave Germany and you can have a new man, and all those inspired us to write about his life. And then I live in Staré Mesto in Bratislava. Then I was reading a good night story to my children, and I heard sirens of police, and like 1 street ago or 2 streets away, there was this shooting. And I really was about, okay, Jura Säufer, who was killed by Nazis, and now there's a Juraj Vankulic killed by Nazi, shot by a Juraj, son of a neo-Nazi called Juraj Krajcik. And I had the feeling it is coming again. It's somehow connected, and it felt more present to not only talk about Holocaust, because we can put it away. And then we wanted to do it in an international thing, because it's a worldwide problem. And we wanted to do it international. And sorry for talking so long, but it was complex because it was for more than 1 year developed.
Yes, it is the example of the process which is very much influenced by reality. It was something very interesting because you wrote a theater play about one point in the history in 30s and 40s last century, and this writing, this artistic process was at one moment connected with the reality and very strong point of reality, and it is interesting how these 2 points were connected into one new quality. Thank you very much and have a nice journey home to Vienna. I hope we see together, we meet again on Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Have a nice time. Yeah, so this is genealogy of the text of the piece, and then Benita came to Brno and Maria came to Brno, and they meet with me and with Sabina. We are living in Brno, me and Sabina, and then we started the process of rehearsals. And I would like to ask, how was it for you, for you two ladies from different countries to come here to Brno into this fabric space to rehearse such a theater piece about a very strong point in the history and together very strong point in a present time?
Thank you. I would like to say that for me personally, it was interesting experience because, first of all, I dreamed about playing in English, so it was like my goal, and it was really cool that I got this possibility here. The second one, our performance based mostly on a text, so there are a lot of text. And it also was interesting how to like work with such a lot of text. Like it's not a lot of action inside, but it's based on a text. And the last point I would like to say that from my experience, I've been playing theater a long time in Ukraine. And from my experience, I feel that Czech theater or Czech way of making performances, it's a bit different from our theater. Because we got used to psychological theater like Stanislavski and some stuff like this at school, and really I love it. And this was different, and that's why it was a bit like, oh, what we should do now, really? So it was like, for me as an actress, it was new experience, and it was really cool experience. I really loved it, and I understood that theater could be like this, like different, like another way of working. So yeah, it was nice. It was a lot of for me I got from our process.
I would say that I really love to work together with these two women here, because we three women, because I discovered, and it was a nice discovery, that we can work together super good, even though we're not native English speakers and come from different educations, acting educations, but still really found a level of communication and togetherness that was so nice, and it overstepped the language boundaries, I think, our acting together, and that's what I think was that's the most precious thing I learned or I take away from here. Yeah, and yeah, it's not far from Vienna, Brno, so I think the style of theater, it's quite similar. Yeah. Yeah. I can go on talking, but yeah. Yes.
Can I add? I just wanted to add that we now began the discussion with I'm the writer, but it's not true because we did it in a collective, and it is not like a psychological Chekhov drama that I did a piece of artwork. It is just a post-dramatic style, which we have maybe a bit more in Germany, but I think it's all over the world that you do documentary theater. So it's not like we did it together as a teamwork through all the language. There was not really a language barrier. It was not a problem, but we did it together as a teamwork. That's important. And yeah, it could not have been worked without your monologues, because your monologues you speak in your mother tongue language. This is like a part of, yeah, you. It's not one writer and roles and characters.
It is necessary to say that this way how to speak about yourself was a very important part of the whole process, and we discussed it very much, and we did, I think, strong decisions in the frame that you are really speaking about yourself in some parts. Actually, in the front of each situation, you are speaking about some point of your private life, and that was something what we connected with the situation in the front of the Tepláreň in Bratislava, and also with the situation of Jura Zeufer in the concentration camp Buchenwald. So I like these three levels of being on the stage. I think in this frame it's quite experiment, let's say this word, and it was interesting to do it. Benita, you spoke about that. You did very excellent English togetherness, and that you did very well together. And I have the question on you, because I know that you are moving between Vienna, Brno, Hamburg, that you are rehearsing really in a lot of different spaces in Middle Europe, maybe in different languages also. So maybe you have more experiences with this type of theater, like rehearsing in English, speaking German also on the stage, learning different languages from colleagues on the stage, etc.
Yeah, no. So I had it already that we spoke English in the rehearsing process, but then I always acted in German until now, and that was very new for me. And at the premiere, I noticed, oh fuck, I'm speaking English, and I couldn't, because in German I can say stuff and then I can come back and I can say wrong stuff, but nobody noticed because I'm the master of German language, you know. I can speak it so easily, and English I can't. And that was a very new, interesting experience, because I can speak English, but I really have to say the text as it is, because I'm not such a pro that I can talk around it. I don't know, that was really new to me, but in the rehearsing process, yes, I know that, the English speaking. Yeah. If that was the question.
I hope so. I hope so. Does it work? Does it work? Okay. Sabina, for you it was also the first experience speaking English on the stage during the performance?
No, it wasn't. I was abroad for my Erasmus studies in Budapest. So I was studying in English, and I was just pretty, it was designed for people to speak in English. That's what Erasmus is about also, about the different language. So yeah, I met people from all around Europe who are actors and cinematographers, and yeah, we worked on some improv, which is a bit challenging if it's not your language, but you get to the point or my experience is that I got to a point after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of me fluently speaking in English that I have a boundary, I have a limit, and I cannot be so free as I thought so or dreamt of. And then you just push through this kind of time, and then you're free again. So yeah, I did it with people who are on a different level of English, and I love international projects, and I love English. I love it. So I was very happy to work on with international people, and yeah, in this kind of language, because it's useful. It's useful. You can travel with this kind of piece, and it's designed for subtitles, and it's designed for international audience. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There's a question.
I would have several questions actually. Like one of them, the first one would be how does an international team such as you are come together? What is the motivation? How did you actually find out about the possibility? And a follow-up question on that: how does it, since you mentioned your experience, for example, with Erasmus, or your experience from like the different school of theater, how does it feel to perform compared to Erasmus? Is it different if you do it like for a show that is not a school project, and in what ways, and like for you specifically, like what is the major challenge that was there for you, because like you were thrown into a difficult situation, right? With having to run away from your country, and I mean even finding your way around and finding your way to your passion, to what you do, that must have been some kind of process. So if you could comment on these 3 questions, please.
Okay, so I think we have. Oh, okay. I'll answer the first one quite quickly because I think the second and third is more interesting. So I found Jiří, or the other way around, through a colleague that is doing research for international theater, and I know him and he knows Jiří, and I think Sabina worked a lot with Jiří together before, and Maria worked in BRNO before, and you based in BRNO, but you were based in BRNO, and that's how you met. Yes, I think that's.
And for this kind of play, we wanted to have a German speaker because it's about Jurasofa is born in Kharkiv, but he's wrote in German, so it was useful.
Yes, as it always is.
Like the school and professional acting, it's like when you are in a school, you do mistakes, you do good, and when you do mistakes, it's okay. In here, it's like you're a little older when you get there because you go to the school before, right? So, I mean, it's not a place to play, it's a place to work. That's the main difference. And one of the most interesting and I think that valuable thing of this performing and acting and rehearsing is that when you meet other people from maybe the same country, you meet them on a different level of professionalism, of talent, of experience, of etc. And if you meet people from abroad, for example, Ukraine and Vienna or Austria, it's a bit like, how is it gonna be? Is it gonna be bigger, the gap between me and you? Is it gonna be just Stanislavski, or is it gonna be Meissner also? Or how do you do theater? How did you learn to do theater? How are you preparing yourself as an actress to go on rehearsal? And how are you preparing yourself at home? Like that's a difference, right? And that was my issue with starting this project, because I'm like, how is it gonna be? Are we gonna be on the same harmony, or will we have to build up some maintenance, or what will suit us? And in the middle of the process, I just realized that the level of professionalism we are bringing is the right spot, and we are on a very similar level with, I'm not talking about like talent wise, I'm talking about the working aspects, like how much do you want to go through the text and work with the text as not a stable thing, but rewrite it. Are you open to do it as an actress? Do you think that this kind of dramaturgy work you can work on also? And that's what we really clicked on, and it surprised me, and it was very pleasant.
As for me, I came here to Czech Republic when the war started in Ukraine as a refugee, and I got possibility to continue my education here in BRNO in Janáček Academy of Musician Performing Arts. I studied theater directing, and yeah, due to this, I started to find people. I had like project in Prague, 2 projects, and then I found, like through some connections, I met Herecké, and he invited me to this project. So that's how I got here. And about the differences of theater or the way of working, I would like to say that here in Czech Republic, I had the 3rd project. I understood that for me, sometimes it is much more easier to work with directors and colleagues, because sometimes in our country, or probably it's like the system of education, I don't know, but the position of director is like very strict and dominant, and position of teacher the same. And sometimes when you go to the stage, it's like, I'm fucking director, you need to do it. So it is like this. And here it was like really colleagues. It was easy to communicate, easy to create something. It was no stress, no judging, no something like this. The same was in Prague. So I feel that it is a really good way of like building theater. It's a normal way. So yeah, that's good that I got this experience. And I'm gonna bring it to Ukraine, of course. So I don't know if I answered the question, but I hope. So yeah, that is what I got new.
Do you have some questions? Maybe when you do not have more questions, we can quit the discussion. We can say thank you very much for coming, and looking forward to the next time.
Or we can talk with a glass of wine without microphones.
Okay, thank you very much. We are playing on Wednesday in Vienna, so let's meet there. Bye.